characters are created for TV commercials. Mike Smithson talks to two talented Adelaide men who reveal how a life like Mr. Oily can pop out of a peanut butter jar.
Most people take what they see on television for granted. But in the field of clay animation, the work is exacting, often frustrating, but the effect, if done properly, is absolutely stunning.
Come waltzing Matilda with me, and he sang as he watched and waited till his bitty ball.
You come waltzing Matilda with me.
This award-winning 8-minute Waltzing Matilda feature was the first major venture launched by the two Adelaide artistic creators, Richard Chataway and Michael Cusack. In the 4 years since the clip, their workload has gone through the roof, with some of Australia's best-loved TV commercials now to their credit.
Well, how tough is it, the work that you do? It looks as though it would be particularly painstaking and at times frustrating.
It is very frustrating. I think you do have to be patient, and I don't know, we find it reasonably easy to do now because we've been doing it for so long. But to people who are just starting, I mean, we train a few people up to do animation here, and they always find it very difficult, so I suppose it is difficult.
So, how is it all done? The answer is simple enough, although the actual technique certainly sorts out the sheep from the goats. In each second of film, there are 24 separate frames. For each frame, the clay figure has to be remoulded slightly to create the moving illusion. So, for 5 short seconds, there are 100 movements.
Does anything ever go wrong? Do you ever have to scrap it at the end of the shoot and start again?
We usually can see a problem happening before we get to the end of the shoot. We might get halfway through it and something's not working the way we want it to work. So we'll stop it then rather than finish it off, because it might be another 4 hours work to finish the shot.
Mr. Oily is one of the duo's most notorious characters and one of the toughest to shoot.
One of the main things that we had to solve was the fact that there was live action and animation happening in the same frame. So we had shots of the little girl talking to the little peanut butter character. We had to make them look like they were interacting. One of the other things we had to do was we had to keep him looking oily, because he was the oily, horrible peanut butter. And so we would have to move him frame by frame, but at the end of each movement, before we took the frame, we had to get a paintbrush and some castor oil and brush it all over him to make him look slimy and horrible.
It's not surprising that clay animation is not cheap. The budget for some of these commercials runs into tens of thousands of dollars. The sky's the limit, depending on the complexity of the ad, which may take up to 8 weeks to produce.
We're not millionaires, but we're doing a job that we enjoy, and we're working in a field that's quite exciting, we think, and so we're getting as much out of it as we want to get out of it.
What would you say your favourite campaign has been?
My favourite is Mr. Oily, because I think the little girl in it looks great and she works so well with the horrible oily character.
I think my favourite would be the Breath Fresh commercial with the man's mouth turning into a washing machine and so on. I mean, that was really very difficult to do, and I think we got a really good result out of it.
Well, have there been any bummers?
Nope. Honestly, not that I can think of.
Well, we've all got feet of clay. I'm Darren Hinch. That's life. Good night.
Britain is our next guest. Would you please welcome Alexei Sayle.